From Camp Bow Wow for our pets ahead of the 4th of July, which is just 8 days away. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
8
a week
days
from tomorrow.
Away. Yes, that's a better way to say it. Thanks for joining us today. Today is Thursday, and you're watching Studio 10. I'm Chelsea Sayasan.
And I'm Jennifer Lambers. Joe Emer has the morning off.
That's right. So we've got a lot of new movies that we've been talking about and trailers dropping. This is one of them. Channing Tatum lives a double life in today's first looks.
He stars in the true crime drama Roof Man, playing a former Army Ranger who robs McDonald's and other businesses by cutting through their roofs.
What? So after escaping from prison, he hides out in a Toys R Us for months until he falls for a single mother played by Kristen Dunst, and one final heist may cost him everything.
The film hits theaters on October 10th. This also has Peter Dinklage in it. I watched the trailer yesterday, not quite understanding the backstory to it, but it looks interesting.
Yeah, and I can think of worse places to be for months than the Toys R Us. I mean, honestly, what an interesting story, though. At first, when I saw this, because I saw him like on the Heelys going through Toys R Us, I thought, oh, this is probably a comedy, but it's
right.
not.
I thought it would have been a comedy too.
Right, right. Interesting story. So if you want to see Roof Man with Channing Tatum, that's coming out soon. I'm excited about this next movie.
Yes. So Kim Kardashian may enter into her bad girl era.
According to Deadline, she is in talks to star as the villain in the live-action Bratz movie for Amazon MGM Studios, bringing those iconic fashion dolls back to life on the big screen.
Kardashian is already on board to co-produce the project. Plot details are still under wraps. Were you a Bratz girl?
I was. I think I was a Bratz girl more than Barbie's, but I think it was one reason. One of the Bratz dolls was named Chelsea with an A, and so I think it just gravitated toward that doll. I am so excited to see those girls come to life and what they'll look like and the storyline and all the things. But I definitely was a Bratz girl. Were you?
No, I was more Barbie, but I always liked the fashion of the Bratz dolls.
They were sassy.
Yeah, they were.
Whoever is in charge of like costume and makeup for this. You must do it right. Please, please, for the girls, do it right. So this is just in talks right now. If it is officially official, of course, we'll let you know. Today is June 26th, 626. If you are a Disney fan, you may recognize that trio of numbers.
Especially real relevant recently, which is the experiment number for Stitch. This day recognized the mischievous yet lovable alien Experiment 626 and his unique bond with Lilo and their Ohana.
Many Disney parks and resorts will offer special Stitch-themed treats, merchandise, and events today, and you can celebrate at home by watching the animated or the live-action Lilo and Stitch.
And here's a fun bit of trivia for you. Chris Sanders not only directed the film Lilo and Stitch, but he was also the voice actor who played Stitch and returned to voice Stitch again in the live action.
Which is so important when you're doing, we're in this era of sequels, live action, from animated and all the things. To have the heart of that original movie that so many people fell in love with, and to have some of those same people at the helm of this back for the live action. I could feel parts of that OG film that I loved, but also, as I told you, in the new live action movie, it felt like its own movie too. It was a pretty cool experience to watch it as a kid, and now to watch this as an adult. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
Layson went and saw it with her summer camp, so we kind of missed out on seeing it with her. So I'll probably wait till it hits streaming.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. Some people have an issue with the ending, but regardless, it's a cute little film to watch.
I've thought about rewatching the series with her.
See, I forgot.
Yeah.
So we took Scotty to go see Stitch, and she's been obsessed ever since. And so we looked on Disney Plus. There's like Leroy and Stitch.
Leroy and Stitch.
There's so much Stitch content.
There's a ton.
The
series is really cute. They have to. Each one gets a number and they're in like a ball, and they go back to Earth. And as soon as they get wet, they become an alien.
Cute.
And they have to go capture them all.
Oh, cute. Yeah, a good kids franchise if you want to watch it.
Well, happy birthday to an American Icon.
The Razor scooter turns 25 today, hitting the streets, sidewalks, and your ankles. For the first time back in 2000, the Razor, a kick scooter, transported riders of all ages with about 1 million sold every month.
Pretty sure I still have permanent bruises from those.
Yep.
In the quarter century since its creation, the Razor has been a go-to for kids, commuters, and celebrities since the original Unfold and Go Razor, a kick.
So we have seen the company's evolution of personal ride, including trikes, go-karts, electric scooters, and hoverboards, paving the way for another 25 years of that mobile innovation as well. Happy birthday, Razor.
Happy birthday, Razor.
You were a staple in our childhood. I think ours was green at home.
Ours,
if
I just had
correctly.
the basic silver.
You did?
Didn't fold or anything. It just stayed upright, silver, but that thing was a beast. It could take any of the falls, the scrapes.
And you're talking about the real, not the electric scooter, but like a real.
Yeah, like you actually have to kick for it to go.
Do kids these days know how to ride a real
Layson
scooter?
has one.
Good.
Yeah, it's an actual one.
Good.
It's 3 wheels. She's been asking for a 2-wheel one, but
I know. Tell her to watch out for those ankles. That's some real pain.
It's a twist.
It
pick
would,
it up,
as you
hit
just saw.
real good.
I know. Happy birthday. 25 years is a big year for sure. Well, if you're hungry, here's a perfect recipe for the weekend ahead. Joe and I are going to take you to Rouse's in West Mobile to check out the Chef Big John burger. It was so good. It was, I think Joe ate half and I ate the other half, and it filled us up. So yeah, definitely a good burger recipe for this week. If you've got pets, you'll want to stick around. We've got a cutie in the studio this year, right now I should say, and this year. Camp Bow Wow is in the studio today with tips on 4th of July pet safety.
Yes, and also I'm going to be talking more about your forecast, not for the year, but mainly for the day and for the next few days ahead of us. But taking a live view outside down in Orange Beach. Stunning, but those waves a little more rough. We'll be back with more of those details after this. Time pattern, but we'll talk more about that and the timing coming up in just a little bit.
All right, well, let's talk about this. Lifeguards across San Diego are warning beachgoers about the dangers of stingrays.
But this season, there is a new product on the market that's making it much easier to avoid their painful stings. Fox's Delaney White reports.
When getting into the ocean, many people are concerned about the risk of a shark attack, but there's a much more likely threat looming close to the shore: stingrays.
We'd estimate that if you're in Southern California in the summer, it's about 30,000 times more likely that you'd be stung by a stingray than attacked by a shark.
But a group of UCSD grads is designing boots that make it possible to get in the water without having to worry.
And the inner layer has the protective material.
The co-founders met while they were students, starting Dragon Skin shortly after graduating.
Michael and I were getting into surfing, and we started to just hear all the stories about people getting stung at the beach.
They quickly learned regular boots weren't enough to protect against a sting.
People were explaining to us that regular booties don't actually protect you from being stung. They're like too thin, and the barbs basically just go right through them.
We get people who come to us talking about life damage from nerves getting severed or tendons getting severed in surgeries that they've had to have.
Haddad explains many of their customers gave up going to the beach out of fear of being stung again. But thanks to the boots they created, featuring a multi-layered design that protects against the stinger, those customers have been able to get back in the water.
People on the flip side of that, after wearing our booties, being like, I have confidence again. I can go back into the water.
And this summer, surfers like D'Angelo Silva are starting their day on the right foot.
It just gives me a lot more confidence to go out there and not be so scared when I'm paddling close to shore.
Using these boots and doing the Stingray Shuffle reduces the chances of being stung, and their mission is giving surfers the peace of mind they need.
Less fear, more play.
The boots come in sizes for both adults and children, and you can find them online or on our website by following the link under the Scene On tab. Reporting from La Jolla Shores, Delaney White, back to you.
Something to remember, our producer Danielle just asked, do we have stingrays? And there are stingrays in our area.
Yeah, there are a few around here, so definitely something just to keep in mind.
Yeah.
And for any of the sea life out there, that little shuffle that they were doing, because you'll get the hermit crabs out there. You never know what you're going to find.
Those jokers are mad, too.
Yeah.
We were at the beach a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't a hermit crab, but it was like the real, like
yeah,
small
the
crabs.
crab.
It was trying to come after us. Its little claws were doing this, and I was like, "Hey, I'm moving. Like, just leave our toes
Yeah,
alone.
leave us
please."
alone. You'll have the fish out there sometimes. We've had a shrimp chase us before.
No way.
Yeah, twice actually. We've had little shrimp just chase after us.
They're angry that
They're
we're there.
angry.
They are. All right. Well, coming up, we are back in the kitchen with Chef Big John. Jen, today we're working on burgers.
Yes, 2 different kinds of burgers. Joe is in the kitchen next for their studio in West Mobile, but we'll have more details on this, something that might be good for this weekend. That's coming up when we come back. Well, whether you are roasting s'mores, swimming under the sun, or sharing stories by a fire, camping continues to be a summer tradition for millions of Americans. June is National Camping Month and the perfect time to start planning your next outdoor adventure. Joining us now to help from Campgrounds of America is Diane Eichler.
Summer has always been high peak season for camping, and that's the same this year as every year. Our campers are telling us they're really interested this year in comfort, convenience, community with a high dose of nostalgia. So they're really wanting to get outdoors, disconnect a little bit from their devices, and sit around the campfire, cook s'mores, which is always a favorite on our campgrounds, and really access the outdoors this year in a very calm and meaningful way. Camping has always been a value-oriented travel option. We know 8 out of 10 of our campers have actually changed their travel plans this year in order to bring more camping into their travel because it is cost efficient. At KOA Campgrounds, we are an amenity-filled campground. So think that you get not just your accommodation, but you have other types of amenities like jumping pillows and pools and swings and playgrounds and types of amenities that people might need to pay extra for if they venture off the campground. Instead, for their one fee for their camping, they get all of that in one place. And it really becomes very attractive, not just for retirees, but as you can imagine, even for millennial families with lots of kiddos. So people really do choose camping this time of year to get the most for their money. 50% of our campers actually travel with their pets. So we have a very strong Camp Canine program, and we welcome pets at all of our KOA campgrounds. Our campers also have a very wide range of demographics. We have everybody from retirees to those Gen Zs who are traveling with their friend groups, all the way down to young kiddos. And at our campgrounds, we have a variety of accommodations, whether you're traveling in an RV and want an RV site with a patio, to tent campers. And one of my personal favorites is our deluxe cabins, which is more like a glamping style accommodation, which would come with a kitchenette and a bathroom and a couple of rooms. And my favorite, the linens that come with it. So you really don't have to have a bunch of gear to come to a KOA campground and to access the outdoors this summer. Alabama is a wonderful place to get out in the summer. We've got 4 campgrounds in Alabama with a few, maybe 3 campgrounds within 100 miles. A couple of standouts are the Gulf Shores Pensacola West KOA Holiday, which is about an hour away from Mobile, Alabama. It's got fishing, boat slips, Camp Canine, a playground, and even an event center if you have a larger group. And the Gulfport KOA Holiday is about an hour away. That one is close to our beaches, as a pool with a lazy river and tube rentals. And again, a golf cart rentals and anything that you would really want to access the great outdoors this summer. I encourage all campers to go to KOA.com and also download our app from your favorite app store. And I would also be remiss if I didn't tell people to go visit our KOA.com blog. It has tons of tips and resources and a plethora of recipes to help you get outdoors this summer.
All right, thank you. And if you want to get outdoors this summer, Jen, today, you mentioned earlier you walked out of the house and it felt nicer. I experienced that too. So today may be the day.
Exactly. Yeah. Today's the day. Spend a little bit what's left of this morning outside. Go take a walk because it's feeling better out there. That humidity, it's lower. It's not as sticky. You'll notice less of the dew, the moisture out there, especially on your car, on your grass. However, once we take a look down at Orange Beach, one of the differences I notice here too is how shaky shaky the camera is and how much those waves are breaking just further offshore. So we're noticing an uptick in that wind, sustained winds, that constant wind speed out of the east-northeast right now, closer towards 10 to 15 miles per hour. Dew points lower 70s. That's an improvement. They were the upper 70s. I mean, it's right along the Gulf water. Normally there's an abundance of moisture out there, but it's a little bit better. So the feels like temperatures only straying away by 5 degrees in comparison to 10 for what we were seeing at the beginning of the week, only feeling like 87. Over the next few hours, those winds will continue just slightly out of the south. So we'll start to notice some of those improvements closer towards Gulf Shore. Still a little bit more breezy out there, however, so that's why we did notice an uptick for the rip currents out there, mainly not so much the rip current risk, but the wave heights out there. The waves were just a little bit more rough, breaking a little bit further offshore, but this is still good. This is still something that we like to see. Rip current staying low today as we get closer towards the weekend, noticing some beautiful water conditions out there. As always, just know the name of the beach you're located on, where the closest lifeguard stand is, and pay close attention to those beach flags. But as we do check in on the tropics, things continue to stay quiet out there. Again, we had our first named storm just a few days ago, Tropical Storm Andrea. It was very short-lived. It was small. It was in the central Atlantic, but no concerns now for the Atlantic, the Caribbean, or the Gulf waters. We will have more Saharan dust moving in, heading into this weekend, lingering into next week. It helps some of that tropical activity stay away. You might notice those allergies flaring up. I'll talk more about your forecast and timing out those rain chances for today. That's coming up in just a little bit. More Studio 10 is on the way. We'll be back after this. Well, in today's Biz Bites, a new competitor is hoping to gain steam in the e-commerce delivery service industry. Delta Airlines debuted its door-to-door delivery service called Deliver Direct last year. The Wall Street Journal reports that the airline is hoping to up its goal from delivering tens of thousands of small packages to hundreds of thousands of packages daily in the next few years. The report says that the airline is utilizing available belly space in its passenger planes. The report adds that this strategy could help Delta follow industry giants such as FedEx and United Parcel Service closely. The report says that the packages could be delivered as soon as 2.5 days at a cheaper price, but there are some potential risks such as flight delays. Spirit Halloween is seeking to conjure up some help from the upcoming spooky season. The pop-up retailer has announced plans to open more than 1,500 locations this year, and so it says it will need 50,000 seasonal employees to staff those stores, which usually open in August. Spirit Halloween says its employees get perks including 30% off of in-store product. And Starbucks has modified its menu prices for add-ons. The coffeehouse chain is now charging 80 cents to add a syrup or sauce to unflavored drinks. But there is not a charge to add or substitute to an already pre-flavored beverage. Starbucks also increased the price for additional chai concentrate, dried fruit, and matcha powder. To make price changes easier to track, the company is testing out a new feature in its app that shows updated pricing ahead of checkout. I will say that is one of my irks with the Starbucks app is you don't really know the price that you're getting until you add it to the cart.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It also makes sense to me as a business that they're doing that because you could say, hi, I want a small caramel latte, and it's like $4.25 with skim milk. Or you can say, can I have a small latte with skim milk, add caramel syrup to it, and it's
like
a little
$2.75.
A little cheaper. Yeah, so I understand that too. But
makes sense. TikTok trends. You got to keep them quiet sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Welcome back. As Megan returns to the big screen with a sequel tomorrow, Fox's Ashley Dvorkin talked with the director Gerard Johnstone about creating a character like that.
Plus, from dances to Halloween costumes, how it's now a franchise and a big part of pop culture.
Yes. It's me. What a shock, etc.
Director Gerard Johnstone went big for the action-packed sequel Megan 2.0.
It was a big and bonkers reaction to the first movie, so it felt like it deserved a big and bonkers sequel. I felt very confident that what we were doing, fans were gonna like, and I have a lot of respect for the character, and I think the hardcore fans do as well.
In part 2, Megan takes on an AI named Amelia. Johnstone says the story taps into a timely conversation.
The idea of a robot that you could have a conversation with, like a really fun conversation with, seemed like a far out future flung concept the first time around, and then immediately ChatGPT comes out and the whole conversation just changes. I thought this has the potential to be a zeitgeist movie, and it was. But it also, when all of this was happening, it just made the idea of another story all the more palatable.
He shared one of the most surreal Megan fan moments so far.
Just when the dance came out and people were recutting the trailer, that was a big moment. Just seeing the creativity on display as well.
It's a cool experience to create a character who becomes part of pop culture.
I've been to Universal Studios like 10 times because I have young kids.
Yes.
Yeah, so every time we go, when we see, a Megan doll or a Megan on a t-shirt, it's just hugely gratifying because you make these things for an audience to see, but to be part of the culture, is just it's amazing.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
I have a feeling that Megan won't be deactivated anytime soon.
No. Going strong.
That girl,
I think it was a movie that surprised a lot of people.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
You haven't?
No, I don't do scary movies anymore.
Yeah. But if you like Megan, congrats to you for the
There you
second
go,
one coming
2.0.
out. That's right. We'll see you right after this.